all you need to know, the Bloomberg Quint podcast that prepares you for the day's business. Good morning, and thanks for listening in. This is the Daily Morning Update from Bloomberg Quint, and I'm Alex Matthew. Today is the 6th of October. The big news from last night was the outcome of the GST Council meeting, or rather, the lack of it. The Council failed to arrive at a consensus on borrowing from the market to meet the shortfall in GST compensation cess, as per the two options proposed by the central government last month. 21 states, most favoured by BJP or its allies, have opted to borrow from the market with help such as a letter of comfort from the central government, according to Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. The amount to be borrowed under the window has been raised to 1.1 lakh crore rupees from 97,000 crore, as I told you yesterday. But crucially, 10 states, most of them run by opposition parties, haven't picked any option and want the centre to borrow for meeting the shortfall in GST compensation. Sitharaman said that these 10 states have stated that the decision taken by the 21 states can't be forced upon them and that they want a fresh option. Besides the logjam on the compensation cess issue, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman announced more measures to simplify filing of tax returns and reduce compliance burden on small businesses. These follow a slew of measures announced earlier to ease compliance. You'll find all of the details in a story on the website bloombergquint.com. Now, there was news on the regulatory front for mutual funds last night. The SEBI, through a circular, has asked mutual funds to assign a risk label to each mutual fund scheme based on a prescribed formula. The new norms come into effect from the 1st of January. Currently, a risk label is assigned to mutual fund schemes based on category and not the composition of each portfolio. Again, there's a story on the website that will make it clear. Now, you'll recall that the Monetary Policy Committee postponed the meeting that was scheduled to take place last week, and that probably had something to do with the fact that it was missing 3 members. Well, the latest is that the government has appointed IGIDR Professor Ashima Goel, Shashanka Bhide, who is Senior Advisor for the National Council for Applied Economic Research, and Jayant Verma, who is Professor at the Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, as new members of the council that decides on monetary policy. In international news, Donald Trump walked out of hospital unassisted yesterday and returned to the White House. His aides will now try to keep him confined to the White House, and his physician said that the president would be monitored to determine when he is no longer infectious. With the elections in the US only days away, Trump will be itching to get back onto the campaign trail. Now, crude oil prices were trading only marginally higher this morning after having jumped significantly overnight. In fact, the commodity rose the most since May in New York, rallying in tandem with equity markets on optimism over the potential for US fiscal measures. Before Trump's return to the White House, remember, on Friday, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi had said that President Donald Trump's COVID-19 diagnosis might change the tone of the talks on the new stimulus, and Trump himself tweeted from hospital that the deal needs to get done. US equity benchmarks rose sharply overnight. The Dow and the S&P 500 climbed 1.7 and 1.8% respectively, while the Nasdaq rose 2.3%. Stocks in the Asia-Pacific region have started the day positive, so that all looks like it's positive cues for the Indian markets. Let's find out what the cues are. I'm joined by Hormuz Fatakia, who will tell you all about the trade setup for the day in India. Morning, Hormuz. How are we looking today?
Good morning to you, Alex, and to our listeners as well. The earnings season is just around the corner, and a slew of companies have come out with their quarterly business updates. So let me take you through all of them. I'll start off with the HDFC twins. HDFC Bank reported a 16% growth in net advances for the quarter, while deposits saw a growth of 20% as compared to last year. The lender also purchased loans worth over 3,000 crore rupees under the home loan agreement with HDFC. Speaking of HDFC, the non-bank lender said that the month of September has seen the highest recoveries since the onset of the pandemic. Individual loan approvals in value terms rose 31%, while total loan disbursals to individual borrowers rose 11% from last year. Sticking with financials, IndusInd Bank's deposits during the July to September period saw a growth of 10%. The growth in advances, however, was muted at 2%. Retail deposits and deposits from small businesses customers grew 12% from the April to June period to just over 75,000 crore rupees. Tata Motors says that sales for JLR were up over 28% in China during the month of September. Overall retail sales for JLR were up over 50% from the previous quarter. The company says that the recovery in key markets was demand-driven and that it expects positive free cash flow during the quarter. Real estate player Sobha in its quarterly update has said that price realizations achieved during the July to September period was the highest in the last 5 quarters. It also said that dependency on sales from its key market in Bengaluru has come down to 60% from 74% in the first quarter. Moving away from quarterly updates to some other stocks in focus, Credit Access Grameen has launched a QIP issue on Monday. The floor price of 707 rupees a share is a 5.3% discount to Monday's closing price. The board will meet on the 8th of October to decide the closing date and the issue price of the QIP. Urmila Lohia, the promoter of Indorama Synthetics, will be selling 6.7% stake in the company through an offer for sale. Lohia will sell up to 1.76 crore shares at 24 rupees a piece. The floor price is a 3.6% discount to Monday's closing price. The OFS for non-retail investors opens today, while it will open tomorrow for retail participants. The stake sale will result in Lohia's stake reducing to 75% from the current 81.7%. Watch out for Majesco in today's trade. The company has announced that it will consider a share buyback on the 8th of October. Infibeam Avenues has entered into a definitive agreement with Jio Platforms to license, customize and maintain the company's e-commerce software and payments platforms. GSFC has decided to manufacture calcium nitrate with an initial capacity of 10,000 MTPA. The company expects an addition of 20 crore rupees to its top line and 7 to 8% growth in net profit from this move. Some buzzy stocks other than IT that I would want to highlight from Monday's session. Adani Enterprises ended at a record high on Monday with gains of over 6%. The stock has gained over 20% in the last 6 trading sessions and was the top performer on the mid-cap index. NOSL ended at its highest level since April 2019 on Monday, ending with gains of over 3.5%. The stock snapped a 3-day losing streak. And lastly, watch for Himmat Singh Ka Seed. The stock ended 19% higher on Monday at an 8-month high. The stock has gained close to 70% in the last 6 trading sessions, and the price band for the same has now been revised to 10% from 20%. Early ticks on the SGX Nifty indicate that the index was flat around the mark of 11,550. Do log into BloombergQuint.com and read our All You Need to Know copy for the latest on the stocks to watch, brokerage updates, FNOQs and a lot more. With that, I wish you a safe day ahead, and it's back to you, Alex.
Thanks, Hormuz, and as always, thank you all for listening in. This is Alex Matthews signing off. Have a great day.
I hope you enjoyed listening to All You Need to Know. Did you know that you can listen to the show on the IVM Podcast app? On the IVM Podcast app, along with this, we have a number of other shows which you think you'll enjoy. Listen to Cyrus Says with Cyrus Brocha as the host. Listen to Paisa Vaisa with Anupam Gupta. The Scene and the Unseen with Amit Verma, or Shunya One hosted by Shiladitya Mukhopadhyay and myself. Check out the IVM Podcast app to get more talk content that you will enjoy.